With that said, I'm going to go into this. Get your notepads, get your pens, get your journals. We're going to go into a teaching today of 10 characteristics of a good leader. Now, these are 10 characteristics of a good leader. I'll get everybody get a moment. You should always have your journal. You should always have your notepad. You should always have pen, paper ready to go to take notes. This is going to be a real profound one today. 10 characteristics of a good leader. 10 characteristics of a good leader. Number one is integrity, is integrity, is integrity, is integrity, is integrity, is integrity, as integrity, integrity. Now, when I think of integrity, there's a couple leaders I think of with integrity. That would be Chris King, Rose Guerrero King, Mr. Curtis Evans, Miss Darlene Evans, Pastor Thomas, Pastor Collins. Integrity, integrity. What does integrity mean, Mr. Thomas? That means when you say something, you stick to it. Good old days, in the good old days, somebody would shake your hand. Whatever they say, you could take it to the bank. That's called integrity. Today, people say what they're going to do, and they don't do jack. I had a guy supposed to, hey, man, I'm ready to sign up Wednesday morning. All right, great. Wednesday morning, 10:30 his time, which is 8:30 my time. I called them, went right to voicemail. Called the next day, right to voicemail. No integrity. At least pick up the phone and say, you know what, Ms. Thomas, I may have thought about this a little longer. It may not be for me. But very few people have integrity. But these are the characteristics of a good leader. These leaders have integrity. I can call Mr. King anytime, Ms. Rose Guerrero anytime, Mr. Curtis Evans, Darlene Evans, Pastor Thomas. Not saying the rest of you don't have integrity, but integrity is so important as a leader to instill that in. And this is what you want to build your reputation around. Keep a great reputation, stay in tune with your integrity. Integrity means everything in this business. Number two, characteristics of a good leader is ability to delegate. Ability to what? Delegate, 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 delegate. When you're a leader, you have to delegate. And I can think when I talk about leadership, I delegate, I think about Mr. Bree Clemens. When he sees something that needs to be tightened up, he'll call me and let me know. And I'll delegate it out, or he's one of them. Mr. Bill Bailey's another one. On top of being not taking it the wrong way, but they delegate and they take delegation well. See, a part of a good leader is also being open to recipient, to be able to be talked to in a way that you understand. Not to be derogatory, but also pick up and say, okay, I need to delegate that out. Or either give me the delegation, sir, I'll get it done. I'll wrap it up. I'll make sure it's done. Today, just because Mr. Nelson might not have been on the call, he already, hey, can you get this ready? And I delegate so much, and he's just right there on top of it. I think of delegation, I think of him, I think of Mr. Bill Bailey. There's so many more of you on here that I think of as well when it's time to delegate. Miss Belinda Batiste is another one. Miss Pat Robbins is another one. So I'm not saying all of you, I'm just picking out a couple of you that I just want to show because I can call them, and the delegation is always there. Now, the next characteristic of a good leader is communication. Communication. When I think of communication, I think of Brian Baker. I think of Brian Baker when I think of communications. I'm always communicating him some thoughts and ideas. He'll communicate thoughts and ideas. I may not agree with him. He may not agree with me, but we still learn from each other through communication. When I think about this, I look at Heather Perry the other day when she was on Monday, a couple of Mondays ago with Miss Jocelyn Driscoll. I watched what she did and how she did what she did. And she communicated that script so well. So well. Winston Herbert's another one up in New York City. Delegate, great communication, great communication. And a lot of you don't have great communication. I'm just highlighting a few of you, so don't get ticked off. So if I don't call your name, but I'm just highlighting a few people that I could off the top of my head here, and I think of in that characteristics. Number four, self-awareness, self-awareness, self-awareness. Now, when I think of self-awareness, I think of Regional Director, Mr. Julian Lewis, because he's always aware what we need to focus in on the conference calls for new IBOs. So he's always aware. Marcia Carter is another one who's always aware. I could call and say, you might want to try it. She said, all right, Ms. Thomas, I got it. She never take it offensively because she wants to grow and to become a senior vice president. So she's always self-aware. Mr. Ismail on the call today is another one that's self-awareness. Oh man, Ms. Thomas, I love when he gets so excited. I just learned something. Oh my God, oh my God. Why? Because self-awareness is so important to wake yourself up to look at something totally different than anybody else. Self-awareness is important. Look, if I look through your eyes, I see what you see. If you look through my eyes, you see what I see. It's totally different. But that's called self-awareness, when you can grow from, here we go. Grow from it. Grow from it. I can call Mr. Lewis, he grows from it. I call Marcia Carter, grows from it. Mr. Ismail, he grows from it. And how many times on this call you hear him, oh my God, I just discovered something. So that's so important. Self-awareness. Number five, a characteristic of a good leader. Gratitude. Man, I think of Willie Cribbs out there in South Carolina. He's always with an attitude of gratitude. Ms. Thomas, I want to thank you for being that leader. Man, I want to thank you for doing all this. Man, I want to thank you for going 20 years. Ms. Thomas, he's always got a sense of gratitude. Not that, Mr. Payon's another one. Always just hey, Ms. Thomas, I got a new idea. Would you add them on to your text message in the morning? Always gratitude. Hey, Mr. Payon, okay, Ms. Thomas, I'm so thankful. I'm so, yesterday he did the 1 through 10 and did a great job of it. And I said, you might want to try. He said, hey, I'm so happy. Thank you, sir. He has an attitude of gratitude. So these are people that are important to understand the gratitude. Daryl Grants is another one. Mr. Ranson, let's go through. All right. Just gratitude. Gratitude is so important. Now, next one beside gratitude is learning ability. Learning ability. Now, when I think of learning ability, I think of Mr. Al Randolph, Regional Director. When I did those calls on Wednesdays, besides Sam Foster, he was the only one was consistently had people every freaking Wednesday on the call. And he would correct and learn. Listen to me, learning agility. His learning agility was off the chart because he wanted to learn. It was like, I'm gonna do it my way. No, Mr. Thomas, I'll take that. Hey, I want to learn how you do that. Mr. Harrison Mills, another one. I called him yesterday about something. He goes, yes, Mr. Thomas, I got it. I'll pivot to that because he want to know. Nally Pereira's another one. Also want to pivot. Jomar Sharp's another one. I can call these guys and say, listen, you might want to, and they're learning. They want to learn. Here we go. They want to learn. What do I got to do to get me to regional director? It's not when I give them some insight, they don't get offensive to it. They said, I got it, Mr. Thomas. Thank you. And I'm going to implement this differently now. I got it. Thank you so much. So that is so important to have that learning agility. There's so many of you on here that have the same thing, the same qualities. Because see, to be a regional director, you have to have these qualities. So I want to thank Dave Culver's another one. Kathleen Williams, another one. They have the qualities of wanting to learn. What do you can hear them in the chat. Dave Culver, the professor. Hey, Ms. Thomas, thank you. Hey, I just learned something today. Hey, I want to implement this. See, these are qualities of a leader, of a good leader. And you guys are all what I would consider SVPs in training. Yes, SVPs in training. Number 7, let's go to number 7. It's called influence. Now, when I think of influence, I think of people like Ms. Evelyn Phibbs, Regional Director out of Fresno. She has great influence, even though she don't think she does, but she does. See, that's when a person don't think they have it when they got it. She's such a great influencer. When she gets on this call, she comes across like your sister, your cousin, your auntie, your mom. She comes across so simple, so right to the point, so instrumental, but she doesn't realize how influenced she is with what she says on the call. And every call she does, people can relate to it. See, that's another thing about influence. Can people relate to your stories? Another one is Heather Perry. I've talked about, being able to influence. Mr. Tasha Ismail is an influencer. Why? Because when she speaks on Mondays, she has such a great influential impact, and it takes her a couple of days to prepare for it. So an influence just don't shoot from the top of their hip. An influence go through writing things down. So when they come across on a Zoom, that they put a study. Listen to what I'm saying. They put a study into their words and into their topic. They just don't come off like this. They go into it. So that's why I'm very careful who I put in front of you. I don't put people in front of you just blah, 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 blah. No. They have a topic and they got a script per se. They got it all laid out. Step 1, step 2. So when they talk to you, they talk to you. And that's why they're so very influential. Now, if you want to be an influential person, one of the things I can say you can do is get to RD as soon as possible. Like I said, we got 50 days for 50 days. 50 days at the last, 50 days. You got people doing it in 60 days. But the whole idea, get there, close it up. 70 days this year is gone. You're going to look up in 2022, go like, what happened in 2021? Well, did I have integrity? Did I do the things I need? That ability to delegate? Was I communicating to my organization and communicating people how to get involved with ACN? Did I send a video? Here again, communication. Did I follow the steps, the ACN system? The awareness of what I need to change. Listen to me. What do I need to change to get me to where I need to go? And then have that attitude of gratitude. Every morning I have the attitude of gratitude. Every morning, sometimes I walk around my house praising God. I'm just walking praising because why? I'm just grateful, especially the day we're living in. Next, we got to look at hold on, learning agility. Are you willing to adjust to learn and not take it derogatory when somebody's trying to bless you who's already going down that road? How do you feel if you're going to go to Africa and I'm going to be your guide and you say, well, no, that's right, I'm going to go out in the jungle by myself. And here it is, midnight, you ain't back yet. Well, you've been eating because you want to learn. You want to do it the Frank Sinatra way, my way. Remember, Frank Sinatra's the only one I know made $1 million off that song, My Way. Because if your way worked, you'd have been senior vice president, but evidently it doesn't. So increase your learning agility. I was on a COC call, SVP call the other day, and Greg Parmesan and 35 other leaders, and before the RD call, and we were talking about a lot of things. Hey, try this. So the learning agility, even I learned from you, and I learned from the co-founders as well. So have that learning, and don't get caught in one way of thinking, okay? And influence. And when you start doing that, and those zeros start popping on those checks, and you'll be an influencer. An influencer is somebody who's done it and has people watching and follow them. Like I said, influencer. I mean, I think of when I think of influencer, I think of Evelyn Phibbs. I think of Heather Perry. I think of Natasha Ismail. These are some influencers. I'm just off the top of my head. Next, number 8. How we doing on time? Number 8 is empathy. When I think of empathy, I think Marie B down there in San Diego. She's just a sweetheart. And I was just so excited by sitting next to her when I went down there to Mr. Julian Lewis' birthday to take them all out. And she was just a compassionate person. And Miss Akinko is another one over Japan, regional director, very passionate. Miss Adele over here in Las Vegas. We went bowling with Brian Baker's organization, went bowling. We had a great time. And she's very empathetic. She was listening. And I was watching her. She was listening to everything. She had the learning agility, Zoe Duffy's another one when I think of that, here in Vegas, because I had a chance to see the sides of them that we don't see, because this is all part of making the person up as a human being to become a leader, to be coached in the right direction and listen and then implement it. You realize there's RDs, not you guys. There's RDs that still don't take notes. Can you imagine that? If I say, hey, regurgitate what happened 4 months ago, they got no reference. It's amazing. It's amazing to me. It blows my mind. Anyway, let's move on. So I'm sorry. So when I think of empathy, these people pop into my mind as I think about the opportunity and how it takes to be a good leader, because these are the qualities of a good leader. But it all starts off with what? Integrity. Who do we have with Mr. Integrity? Here again, I think of Chris King and Rose Guerrero King. I think Miss Evans and Mr. Evans. I think of Pastor Thomas and Claudine Thomas, because they have integrity. So the question is, what about your learning agility? What about your communication? What about your self-awareness? What about your gratitude? What about your learning agility to pivot? A lot of times things, investments, I have to pivot, okay? Things change. Number 7, influence. What kind of influence? Are you influential? And number 8, empathy. Now I'm gonna give you the last 2, which are really amazing. Number 9 is courage. Courage. When I think of courage, I think of Sam Foster. Anytime a guy goes backbone and posture and teach like he teaches, anytime a guy goes to the mall and got courage enough to go out there and go what your dreams are. Mr. Foster, man, Mr. Tom, I ain't sleeping in my bed until I get to RD. Why in the rest of it put yourself on the line? Because you don't have the courage, or you don't believe you can do it. That's all that tells me. Now, anytime a guy goes out to the mall and it's raining cats and dogs, and he put his foot in a puddle, get out of his car, knowing he's gonna have his loafers all messed up and wet until they're all dry off. They're leather. See, that takes courage. It takes courage to walk into a stranger. It takes courage to go out there every day. It takes courage. I ain't gonna lie, yet. And some of you, I hate to say it, just don't have it in you to do it for whatever reason. It's all in your mind. It's all mental. It's all up here. Let me ask you a question. What would you do if you could not fail? What would you do? You go do it. Well, look, God don't make junk. Do you realize how many, oh, I ain't gonna go that deep on you today, but don't you deserve it? Don't your family deserve it? Don't your kids deserve it? Your wife deserve it? Your husband deserve it? Don't your community deserve it? Your pastor, your church, don't your, I mean, come on. Don't you have the courage? Courage, courage, courage. Sam Foster, courage. Lance Woodbury, courage. Miss Walker up in Nashville, courage, 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 courage. I mean, Miss Walker, Miss Thomas, they signed up to get qualified. See, I'm over every day trying to get qualified. You know, and they told me I keep going back. I keep going back. You know, Daryl Ransom, I keep going back. I keep going back. See, that's courage. That's courage. Man, I was taking my walk yesterday. I ran into a guy taking my walkies. Al Thomas had my earphones. I look around. I forgot his name because I deleted him. When I do that, I said, "Oh, when last time we saw each other?" So I can get an idea who he is, his name. And I sat down with him, talked to him a little bit. I said, "Man, how long?" Well, anyway, courage is so important. Courage, and last, excuse me, but not least, is respect. Respect. When I think of this, I think of Sherion in Florida. You know, always respectful. You know, Ray Caldwell, all respectful. Daniel Jones, always respectable. Marie B is always respectable. You know, there's so many of you on here. Tammy, another one, very respectful. But you got to understand, respectful for the leadership that's guiding you to where you need to go. See, that's respect. That's respect when you can call somebody up and talk to them. You know, like Dee Dee Sanders, Judith Allen, very respectful, very respectful. So the key is, these are the characteristics. And if I were you, I'd start adopting it in my everyday life. You know, everywhere I go, I run into people who know me. You know why? Because I keep the integrity high. I keep it high. And the ability to be agile is so important as a leader. Communication with your organization. What do we communicate? We communicate 7 days a week on this channel, on this Zoom, 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, same time, same bad channel. Tuesday, Thursday, you can depend at 6:00 p.m. Somebody's going to do it 1 through 10 for you to build. We had people on from UK yesterday and England, England, on the call at night, last night, 5 new people. You know, bring it to the table every Friday night at 6 o'clock, Sunday, Saturday, 6 o'clock. Why? We're communicating to help you become a better leader. Self-awareness. When are you going to have those aha moments like Mr. Ismail have? And then say, you know what, I need to implement this, and that will get me to that's the piece of the puzzle that I'm missing. And gratitude is so huge. Attitude of gratitude and learning agility. And when you have that, you'll have the influence you need to get people in your business even faster. And then with empathy, because people need that today, and have the courage to go talk to one more person. Look, 3 a day is nothing to talk to. 3 a day to keep a job away. Nothing. That is nothing. But here again, some of us use, well, you know, that's it. Don't use that as an excuse. That's just an excuse. We had Miss Collins on and 40 more customers my point is customers. She's locked down in Australia. She had ran up to 250 points, locked down. And another 40 on top of that, locked. So don't just realize we know it's an excuse. I hope you realize you're trying to give us, no, it's nothing stopping you but you. If there's a will, there's a what? Way. And last but not least, respect. Respect the leaders that went and blazed a trail in front of you. And then listen to them and maintain that respect. Because one day you will be that leader that you want all these 10 qualities for people to look to you at. And say thank you along the way as you help build them into their ACN family and build their large organization that they can do the things they want to do. These are the 10 characteristics of a good leader. Folks, I want to say thank you for the day. I want you to be aware of these things that leaders have. And I want to say thank you so much for all of you that are on the call every day faithfully, all of you every day faithfully. Now, if you can, get one person extra to each one of these calls. They could be not in the business, but get them on the call to listen. You know, then they'll get in the business. But you've got to have the tenacity and the courage to step out of your box and go for it. See, most people, the whole life is you know, the coin. 95% is always live on this side of the coin. The 5%ers live on this side of the coin, and leaders live on the edge. Now, 95%ers live in this box. They sleep in a bed shaped like a box. They go down to the kitchen table like a box. They eat cereal out of a box. They get in the car if they go to work, it's shaped like a box. They sit at a desk shaped like a box. They take a lunch and they eat it out of a lunch box, and they go home and do the same thing on the couch shaped like a box, watching the idiot box, and then they go to bed, jump back in the box. When they die, they put them in a brown box. See, that's not a life. Man, that ain't a life. You got to live on the edge, not 5%ers. We're out here moving and grooving. We understand the numbers game. Some will, some won't, somewhere next. We understand it ain't for everybody. And if you're on the edge of the coin, Lord have mercy. See, on the edge of the coin, you can see both sides. The 95, your life that you used to be, and your future life. If you hang in here with us. You know that don't work. The mama, daddy, sister, cousin, brother, other always lived here. On the edge of the coin, you can see both sides of the coin. And let me say this, write this down. If you ain't living on the edge of life, Lord have mercy, you're taking up too much space. You're taking up too much space. You know what? Like I said, when I started this call, and I saw Miss Newman's background, the Golden Gate Bridge, I said, you believe people have not been across a bridge in their town? How sickening is that? And we live in a beautiful world God has blessed us with. You and I have an opportunity to bless and touch so many families. What did Mr. Julian Lewis said the other day? Over 4 million people walked off their job last month. You know, they're looking for ACN. They don't want to go back in there. My God, and you can't get one person per call out of 4 million that walked off? Am I speaking to somebody? This ain't that difficult. The reason why some of your numbers ain't changed because you ain't sitting under nobody. Oh, let me be nice, because I think Mr. Nelson had said that. So I like when other people talk for me and say the same thing I said, because we all understand you're not there because you're not talking to enough people. Now, I'm not here to beat you up, but I'm just saying, look, get busy. The world is changing. It ain't going back. Listen to me. It ain't going back. Listen to me. It ain't going back. Listen to me. Listen, Linda. It ain't going back. You have got to make a decision that you want the best for your family and go to work and make it real.